Recording is on.
All right. Well, I would like to welcome everybody. As Dr. John used to say, welcome to iGalen land. On behalf of, we're calling ourselves the Fab Five team. Hopefully we can live up to that. We have, typically we have Doctors Ken Pepperdine and Ron Borsma with us. We have Fawn Christensen manning the Zoom controls. We have Jackie Boyle doing the interview tonight, and myself. And tonight we actually have a very special guest or pair of guests. And Jackie will be doing an interview with PJ Kim from the Philippines. We found out that Kim is PJ's lovely wife's name. So Kim is not his last name, but we're looking forward to that. And at the end of the call, we'll have time for some Q&A, and then there'll be some reminders as well at the end of the call. So I think without further ado, Jackie, go ahead and let's talk to PJ Kim.
Well, first of all, just to clear things up, welcome Peter, or PJ, and his lovely wife Kim. So I actually assumed that that was his surname. So I was very much struck to think that it was actually your wife's name. So it's lovely that you've combined the two of you in together, because I know from what I can understand that you both are very much a team and that you're very much committed to both of this. So welcome onto the call, and thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. Okay, so...
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good morning to all. Thank you for the invitation to be one of your speakers today. So it's our pleasure to share our story to all iGalen family.
It's a pleasure to have you on, PJ, and we are going to need you to speak up louder, and I'm sorry, it's just so we can hear you. There's just a bit of background there, but I want to run through with everybody, you know, what it is as a short biography as to what we discussed, as to what this very talented man has done throughout his career, and it's pretty inspiring. So for his short life, because I know he's not that old, not like myself, but he's been a teacher by profession for 7 years. He has a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Education and a major in Industrial Arts. He has an electrical major in building wiring. He has an electronics engineer, a reserved officer in the military, handling in high school, which is a Citizens Army Training Commandment, handling in college, which is a reserved officer training centre as a commandment, a sports coordinator, a technology livelihood educator coordinator, a Reform Development Society Guardians, which is a founding father chairman. And personally for himself, he's been at Ruby rank 18 weeks, which is very remarkable. That's just astronomical. As a Ruby, I did ask him in regards to going to the next level. And for PJ and for his wife Kim, they explained to me that working as a Ruby was a lot more beneficial for them to work in his organic business, in his network as being organic. So staying, I envision, at that level to work further forward with those people and taking them forward together. So basically, you've had a very industrial career, PJ, to date so far. And I congratulate you for that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for the warm welcome on my very lucky. And to all iGalen family, good morning, and we will enjoy today.
Yeah, like, you're an amazing man for what you've done to date. It's very inspiring, and it makes me feel quite inadequate for what my resume stands by. When I read yours, I thought, oh my goodness me, like, you've done amazing things. So I can see why you're an incredible leader. So personally, just on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us. And what I wanted to start and look at doing was to start asking you some questions from you and for you to actually share with us your iGalen journey. I mean, a lot of us had the pleasure to meet you in Vegas and your lovely wife, which was wonderful. And to see what you have done since you've left there and gone back to the Philippines has been quite remarkable. So we now know what you were doing prior to joining the iGalen movement for work, which is pretty inspiring. But I wanted to ask you, how did you get involved in the company iGalen? Like, how did that actually occur for you?
Hello, Jeffrey. Can you hear me?
I can. I just wanted to ask you, who introduced you into iGalen? How did you get involved with iGalen?
Okay, first, uh, iGalen totally did not introduce to me personally anyone from iGalen distributor. During our 8 months uh, standby for network marketing, because we are in our previous company, so we staff for 8 months. Then one night, so maybe 1 a.m. in the morning, we search in the YouTube because I have a health presentation. I made a health presentation PowerPoint. So I saw the link in the YouTube. Then I clicked the link, and that link go to Cathy Rodriguez site of the YouTube, and then I click the link. Then I email Cathy Rodriguez what is iGalen all about, or is it available in the Philippines? So that time, during that time, iGalen in the Philippines is not available. So because there are no legal document to operate in the market. So, but I'm very interested to join iGalen that time because we don't have any MLM company to work with it. So that's the point why we now engage in iGalen.
So is it my understanding that Kathy Rodriguez is your sponsor?
Yeah, Cathy Rodriguez is my direct sponsor, and she introduced me to my our run-up Ryan Dory. And Ghana, so that's the scenario.
So we're looking through Kathy Rodriguez and then Dory as your main upline as well. So you've got some pretty amazing people that are there as mentors for you that have brought you into the iGalen family, haven't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm very thankful to Kathy Rodriguez because she's the one who follow up every day to be part of the Igalin family, and also Dory and Jana.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there. I think we all get a lot of inspiration out of both of those two. They really are inspiring. Looking at iGalen as a company, are you planning to be involved with this in the future? Is this a long-term career for you?
Yeah, Igalin for us, for me and him, this is what we call a career. So I believe that this company is a breakthrough company for everybody who dream for a better future and tomorrow as well for our family also.
Okay. I know that I read your posts on Facebook all the time, so I'm keeping a bit of an eye on what you've been doing since I've come home from Vegas, and I am actually quite awestruck by how you've gone about building your team. But how important is iGalen to both yourself and Kim and your family? Like, what has it done for your family so far?
Uh, every day we are the babysitters of our children. So morning, then we take care of our 3 kids. That's our family life cycle.
So I'm understanding from what I see with you, like you literally pack up your family and you're traveling from one spot to another when you're looking at having meetings and you're recruiting people. You're taking your children with you some of the time with you, aren't you? Because you're traveling on buses, on trains. Is that correct?
Yeah. When we started, every day we travel almost 7 to 9 hours go to the place, especially one of our leaders in Bukidnon under Dr. Rico and Coach Dundoy or Hinaro, Durotan. So from Davao City to Bukidnon, it took almost uh, 7 hours. So
If I look at commitment and I look at persistence and trust and belief, you've certainly got that in regards to committing to iGalen, because for any of us to even contemplate to look at traveling 7 or 9 hours on a train or a bus
bus.
to do what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
I actually congratulate you, because that is a huge commitment. That just goes above and beyond, because we take for granted that we can just jump in our car and off we go. Or jump on a plane and off we go. So the dynamics of what you are working under, both yourself and Kim as a young family, really just puts a different perspective into it as to what sort of commitment that you have given up by this illustrious career that you've got, and you've decided to make iGalen your future career for your family. And that within itself speaks volumes, and I'm sure that people are quite amazed by what you are doing by making that choice, because it's a big decision to do that. I wanted to also ask you, iGalen itself, when you looked at it, what were some of the key points that made it the company that you chose to come on board with? Because I know that you told me that you had been approached by other multi-level marketing companies, but iGalen was the one company that you decided that it was the perfect fit for yourself and your family. Why was that?
iGalen, it makes ideal company for us, for me and Kim, and maybe for the entire distributor of iGalen. First, the products. So we are products by products. So my testimony is unbelievable because I'm almost 90 kilos before I started iGalen. Then 1 week to 2 weeks, my weight down to until now 75 to 76. So very amazing.
75 kilos.
Yeah, before I am 90 kilos plus. Now 75 kilos. So
Oh my
very,
goodness.
yeah, very what we call powerful product in terms of lose weight. That's why uh, my shirt is now,
That's why you look so strong.
yeah, that's why we are in love with the product. So that's the story. And of course, so from the unique product to the what we call that, and also the leadership of the owner. That's
Oh,
why
Mr.
iGalen is
Chan
very
Hang Pai.
successful. Yes. Number one is Chairman Chan Pai, and then Dr. Jen, and of course my idol, my mentor, Postagala.
Yeah.
Very powerful when you saw him in personal. It's like a magnet to us.
Yeah.
And then of course Dr. Arens and Dr. Stepan. So all of the management are very great leadership.
I gathered from speaking to you, PJ, what came through very strongly for me was that having the launch of the Philippines, having Mr. Chan Hang Fai there, having Dr. Rajen there, Dr. Ahrens was there, Costa Gara, the impact that it had for the Filipinos themselves as a community, as a country, brought so much respect, and it also brought a sense of commitment from the company to the Philippines, from what you were telling me. Like that had a huge impact on those people in that room, because the founders of iGalen were there for them to be able to speak to mingle with and to talk to. Was that the case? Did a lot of people come away from there and feel very secure that they were with the right company because they got to meet the founders?
Yeah, Filipinos are very skeptical in terms of doing foreign company, especially US. So first, they want to know who are the owners. They want to meet personally. So during that launching or grand opening in the Philippines, it's a very what we call a great impact to all the Filipinos, especially all like Galing distributor, because they saw and they knew that there are real person behind the Galing company.
Mm.
And it's not very unordinary person, extraordinary person, and has also great leadership and integrity in terms of doing the professionalism.
Mm. Yeah, no, I gathered that, and I understood that. So I thought it's been such a very powerful tool and a recognition from the company to make sure that they were committed to the Philippines by turning up, because you can see by the results that have been result driven through that, as to what's happened after you've actually launched. What I wanted to also ask you, when I was speaking to you, I asked you one of the things that was one of the key components for you that was very important, that stood out above from other multi-level marketing companies. And your answer to me was that the compensation plan was actually one of the main reasons as to why yourself and Kim chose to come on board with iGalen. Can you explain to us why?
Okay, the compensation plan of iGalen is very extraordinary because I've been in two US company before. So the compensation is not very great like iGalen. Because in a matter of how many months in terms of what we call that finances, iGalen is very good. So the
Yeah.
compensation is powerful. So because 12.5% in terms of time commission, and also we have uh, lifestyle bonus.
Yeah.
I love lifestyle bonus.
I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody does. It's been lucky enough to reach there.
yeah, because we call it here in the Philippines like pension. We have a monthly pension in the iGalen. If you hit the what we call
12
the
weeks.
Godfather, yeah,
Yeah.
Godfather. So we have pension in iGalen. So as our age, so very what we call great compensation and intended for leaders who are looking positive and long-term.
Yeah. So I guess really looking at it, when you're looking at the potential of earning an income in the Philippines, is it's very diverse. Like there are different, it's very hard to earn an income for a lot of people in the Philippines unless you're actually born into wealth. Like it's a hard road to actually earn a secure income for your family. But to have this sort of a compensation plan where you're at a tender age of in your 30s, that you have a pension, you've actually been grandfathered to where you actually have a pension on a monthly basis, is quite insane really to think about, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every month we have a pension in iGalen.
Yeah. And you're not even on a walking stick yet.
Yes, unlike other company, you work hard to get that certain lifestyle bonus, but in iGalen, it's unbelievable. That's why uh, when we talk to each other, is it true or it's just a dream? Now,
Yeah.
it's a very, very true because it happened to us. Just like I remember what Costa Gara tell to us, just keep time by Galen and you will be on top or you will make some good finances for our family.
And he's been right, hasn't he,
Yes,
so
uh,
far?
that's
And
why
he's still to go further.
we are very proud to be part of iGalen.
We're proud to have you on the team as iGalen too, I can tell you. So when you're looking at grandfathering and you're getting a pension already at this age on a monthly basis through this phenomenal company, has that been a very good tool or a marketing tool that you're able to use to share when you go and introduce the product to or the company to other people, to be able to tell them that this is what's possible? Is that something that's been a real draw card for people to come on board with you, with your team?
Pardon, Justin.
When you're reaching you're being given a pension, like you've earned your pension because you've been grandfathered, and you go and introduce iGalen to a new prospective client, and you're looking at trying to sign somebody up and bring them into your organization, being able to tell them that this is part of the compensation plan, has that been something that's really encouraged them to say, yes, I want to be part of that organization because of the fact that I can get a pension if I earn that sort of money?
Yeah, very powerful because when they saw the compensation plan, especially the lifestyle bonus, they can't
Okay.
believe because unlike other company, every month they purchase how many bottles, so it's a huge or big amount to invest
Mm.
every month. But in iGalen, it's only one bottle. So wow, and also attracts a lot of people. That's why we are now building outside Philippines through online uh, another leader. So very effective.
Congratulations for that, because it's an inspiring thing. I wanted to ask you too, and I wanted to touch base on, you've actually developed in the Philippines. Like, we looked at a post that came out, and I think I can honestly say for all of us in the iGalen family globally, when the post came out that you'd reached something like 25 rubies, there were, I think, 4 emeralds, 2 diamonds, a double diamond. This all occurred within the Philippines, that your rankings, there were so many people that were ranking in ruby, emerald, diamond. How have you been able to achieve that? Has that been through this close network of teamwork that you constantly are getting together and you are supporting each other? Is that how this is happening for you? Because you seem to be working together collectively in a big group all the time.
Yeah, as I've said moments ago, I am lucky enough to have a true leaders in our team because they strive hard and work on their own. So they are like an eagle. And
Yeah.
also sharing iGalen opportunity to people even without us or without even accompanying them. So what I am doing is just to give my full support to them when they need my assistance. So what if one leader asks for our present, even it took almost 5 to 7 hours and travel, we will go there just to support uh, our leaders.
So what I'm gathering from, for you to travel that length in time, even if it's not actually for your own personal gain, but because you're actually supporting one of your other leaders or your other up and coming team members, there's still that very big word in there called respect, that you have so much respect for one another, that you're pulling this team together, that there's never at any one point in time, from what I can understand, and correct me, please tell me if I'm wrong, that you're never working alone. You are
Yeah.
always looking at working as a team, and you're doing everything to keep that team tight so that you have that same vision and that same drive, that you're constantly setting goals as a team together. Is that why you think that you're getting so much success so quickly?
Yeah, we are doing by it's a teamwork. That's why I'm very proud that I partners some great leaders. So just like Coach Senaro, Coach Kenneth, and Coach JD, and also Dr. Greco, and the rest of the teams. That's why even without us, they work because they show the vision and mission of
I think we've got somebody that needs to mute themselves on here somewhere. It might be Charlene, I think. If we can get that sorted. Paige, I wanted to ask you, what is it that you do differently, do you think, that is, if we can ask you, because we're learning from you, because if we want to actually sign people up in the Philippines, or if we think we've got somebody in the Philippines, you know, what is it that you're doing so differently that we can learn, that we can learn from you? Like, how difficult is it to get in contact with and to be able to get somebody in the Philippines to break that language barrier? Because it's really a different culture to be able to try and get people to understand how the culture in the Philippines is in comparison to Canada, to Singapore, to Australia. It's a completely different way of how you work. Like, you can't be seen as having a big volume of people together collectively. Like, it's done in small groups all the time. So is there anything that you can help us if we're wanting to go into the Philippines, which you probably don't want us to, but I mean, if we're wanting to go into the Philippines, are there any tips that you can give us that we can look, that would make life a little bit easier for us as a global iGalen family to come and join you sometime?
yeah, Philippines culture in terms of network marketing is very different from US, Canada, and other country because you need to be what we call in our term is offline or manual doing network. Unlike in the US, we have Zoom, webinar, but Philippines, it's very hard to connect, especially the technology, because some places in the Philippines there is no internet connection. That's why other leaders go to cafe, to the hotels, and so we are what we are doing is just go to the area so you can travel and met the leaders, table presentation, or what we call gather of the leaders. But take note, you need to be uh, ano, you need to be you need to scrutinize every leaders because there are some leaders, you know, just like a shark. they said they, they said they are leaders. They have a great genealogy, but it's hard to believe. So you need to be uh, scrutinize every leaders. Then my strategy is in every places I get only one leaders in one places. Because if I get uh, two, three, four or more directs, they are all cross lines. So
Okay.
it's hard to create an organization, especially all is your direct. So I need what we do is only one leaders in one area. Even if my friend, so I give it to the leaders in that area. So they are only the, in one leg. So because we are in a binary system, so one left, one right.
It's just truly amazing, and it comes back to the dedication and the passion and the belief that you have this just innate sort of drive, like you've just got this constant everyday get up and this is what we're doing. Like
Yeah.
you have this business platform that you have set in front of you, and I envision that you keep altering that to suit, but it's still that constant let's get up each day because we're going to another place. We're going to keep on promoting iGalen. There just isn't a day off for you. And obviously through the results that are coming back, we can see that this is what's happening for you. So also what I wanted to ask you, how easy is it to get product into the Philippines for you guys? So you've got a base of product in the Philippines that you have access to? So you're not
Okay.
having...
In Philippines, we have lots of products
Okay.
because we are legalized now. We are legal now to operate. So there is no problem. But the challenge is the product is not available. So that's our great challenges. It's a positive response if there is no product because people because people and also we have an office in Manila. So that's why we are very thankful that I can put an office here in the Philippines.
Maybe it's because you don't have as much product as you need because you're being so successful and you're selling out of it all the time because you're building such a big team so rapidly. So it seems like that may be half the problem too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you
So
one more
supply and
question.
demand.
Supply and demand, that's right. I just wanted to ask you one more
Yeah.
question, then I want to ask other people if they've got questions for you. Where do you see yourself and Kim in the next 12 months? Like, what are the goals for both of you in regards to iGalen? Like, what are your dreams and your visions? Where do you think you're going to be in 12 months?
Okay. Thank you, Jackie, for the great question. Totally, it's a very sentimental answer because we work not for us, we work for our three kids. That's why we work very hard for the future of our kids because they are very young. And also, when the time came, so I hope my experience in life, I don't want to be my kids in there. So that's why we are very work hard in the garden. Even sometimes we have lot challenges, but go. So I know someday by God's timing, according to the Bible, it's Jeremiah 29:11, where I know God has planned for us. So just continue doing what you started or what I started, especially in Nagaland because I know it gives it can give us a very rewarding future.
So, PJ, I actually envision that I would see both you and Kim being with a triple crown sitting over the top of your name within a 12-month period, the way that you are working over there. That's what I was kind of aiming at, thinking that looking at a 12-month goal for the both of you, I can see a nice little triple crown sitting on top of your head with the impact that being the third fastest growing multi-level marketing company in the Philippines with such a baby company as iGalen is, I will not be surprised come conference time that the both of you are going to be sitting with a triple crown or above on top of you because you really are inspirational. So I congratulate you.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. Because since February 3, then one of the site in the internet, is a legit site, so Philippine, iGalen is on the fastest 27 uh, new company in the Philippines. So happily, we are number
Yeah.
yeah.
Looking to be number
So
one.
yes, so we need some more distributors in iGalen. You can become number one and more testimonies. Yeah, because
Yes.
our product, Immunin and Climax is very powerful.
Mm. So do you mind, PJ, if I actually ask if there's anybody on the panel here that would like to ask you a question? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Hi, this is Fawn. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, PJ. Hello, Kim.
Hi there.
I am so touched by your devotion to all of your people. And what I'm curious about, when your people are presenting to their people, is it always the product and the business always together?
Okay, thank you for the question. We will first. We have what we call same presentation. First, we introduce the company profile. So that's the most important, the company profile. So the owners and of course the products. Because we have a mantra, mission first before commission.
Right.
Yeah. After that,
Mission and then permission.
yes. So when the product is very good, commission will follow. So during the presentation, company profile, the product presentation, then testimonies is
Yes.
the most important, and the last is the compensation plan. It's a basic compensation plan, not the whole compensation. It's a basic. So
And what are the highlights on the basic compensation plan? Like, I know we brought up the pension, but what other highlights do you make with the basic compensation plan?
okay, in the compensation of the iGalen, we have 6 ways to earn income. I discuss only the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and the lifestyle bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest, if you have a huge group, that's the time you can discuss on them. So the most
Yes.
essential is the fast start bonus. So you can mobilize it and so make some table meetings. And of course, the most important is the lifestyle bonus.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so have your people then learned from you to give the same presentation? Do they give the presentation as well?
Yes, they follow the presentation. For example, one of our leaders, Coach Naro, so they follow the presentation. That's why he also huge group also under his team. He's now one of the top leaders also in the team.
And no one told us about the compensation plan in the product. We do study on our own.
Yes, yes, that's why I'm asking, because it's what you really live by. That's what you're helping people also share, right? What
Yes.
you believe about the company and about the products.
Yes.
And it's what you've created. Yes, it really comes through.
Yeah.
I understand,
Yes.
like Jackie said, it's a baby company.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a 2-month-old baby. That's why we
Yes.
have years to go.
A
That's
lot
why
more development, but thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. Thank you.
So,
Has anybody else got any questions that they would like to ask?
Okay.
Yes, I would love to, first of all, just thank you so much for what you've shared with us. We have so much to learn from you. We're in a country, many of us in countries that are abundance in people and opportunities, and what you've done with so much less of that is quite remarkable. So your work ethic is absolutely fantastic. And a couple of really good points I got from your talk about the 1 leader per area. I think that's a very important point, so people aren't fighting for people basically and running into each other. And then the consistent presentation, I think that's really important. I think that's something that we could all benefit from, is having one way to present that's been proven to be successful. And you've obviously had to develop that on your own, and it's working beautifully for you. So I'm just I'm in awe of what you're doing. But I'm just curious, on a practical note, what products do you have in the Philippines? Do you have E in Climax or M and C in Climax, or what do you have?
As of now, we have Emulin M.
Okay.
We don't have Emulin E. Emulin M and C, and of course the Climax. So
Okay.
Climax now in the Philippines is making
Product.
fast-moving product in the Philippines.
Fantastic.
This one, yeah.
Some of your testimonies, maybe we can get on our testimony call. Once a month we'll be doing testimonies, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit later, and get some of your people with their testimony sharing on the call. So thank you so much for your time and for your dedication and your education for all of us.
Yeah, thank you also, David.
Okay, so has anybody else got any? Ken, I see that you're sitting in there. I'm not sure if you're in practice, but was there anything that you would like to ask if you're able to? Oops. Oh, there you are. He's popped up. You'll have to unmute.
I was lying on the couch listening in a very relaxed manner. I just came back from a workout, so I would like to congratulate you on what you're doing, PJ. And the one thing that I really made a difference to me, you spoke of meeting the principals of the company. I had the opportunity at the Vancouver launch of iGalen. Just by chance, I went for breakfast at the hotel and sat with Dr. Rajan. And I'm sure you're the same. You get to know people, and the people are who's important. And so in sitting, having breakfast with Rajan, I went, okay, this fellow isn't clever. And I don't mean to say that I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. He's not sly. He is honest and straightforward. And people like that I want to work with. My oath is to helping people, helping their health. So I take it from a different direction, maybe. But it is wonderful to work with good people, and it's great to listen to you.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if you have, we do have the doctor's call, and Dr. Ron and myself present on that. So we know a little bit. So if you have questions or anything you want to fire away to us, please do so. Health questions, things that we can help with. Mind you, in the Philippines, you have a wonderful diet and lots of good air and exercise, and maybe not good air.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ken. Is there anybody else that would like to ask a question at all? Okay. If we're all locked in, what I'd like to ask PJ is there anything in particular that you'd like to share with us that we can take away from this call that we could possibly look at doing better, that you're doing, that we could take on board?
Okay. So I have something here. I wrote down this one when we're downstairs. Okay, so we wanted to share with you guys when this is what we implemented in our daily life, in everything we do. Okay. So how to improve our leadership skills? Number one is that we have to have a clear vision. Okay, so always make time to share your vision and mission in your goals with your team every day. As a leader, you have to provide a clear path that your team can follow. Okay, so we also have number 2 here. We have to be passionate in everything we do. this is one of the most important leadership skills. You have to share a genuine enthusiasm in everything you do. Okay, so number three is you have to set definitive goals and follow concrete action plans. You have to know where your destination is before you can map out a plan to get there. Okay, so number four, you have to maintain a positive attitude. With a positive attitude, you are looking at the bright side of your life. For sure, you will be surrounded by other people, by other positive people. Okay. Number five is that stop learning. Never stop learning, because learning and knowledge is very important in doing business. The same with us, we don't have a medical background, so we cannot explain properly the product, about the information product. Okay. So what we are doing is we keep on searching and asking for help in Google. Okay. So that's
And also, I suggest you must take some time to read the book of Tagalog.
yes.
That's a very powerful, personal testimony of Tagalog. That's why every day it challenges us. We need to move on to be successful uh, in God's timing. Then always pray. That's why
From what I can gather, there's a little bit of a hold up in the connection there, but we've gathered a lot of it from you anyway. And to hear that you've got these very, strict guidelines that you're working with, and whilst they're guidelines that you're very passionate about, and it's a system that is working for you, and that's very clear to see because your results are driven by that. We can see that. But what comes through, and I've got the hairs on my arms are just standing on end when I'm listening to both of you, is just the pure commitment that you have to one another, the sheer passion that you have, the belief system that you have, and just the sheer drive that you have to want to share these products out through the Philippines to make the lives of everybody else so much more better, not just physically but financially as well, comes through so strongly. And I honestly really just congratulate you from all of us, because you really are inspiring. Because for me to sit back and listen to somebody complain to me that we're doing it tough because we can't find a distributor, or if we say that we've got to go and meet somebody and it's 2 hours in a car, to go through this process and listen to what, and as I said, I follow you both on Facebook on a regular basis because I'm inspired. You inspire me by what you both do, for the sheer commitment and what you give to your team. And I say that there's no I in team, and that comes through very strong through. You have a big communication there between your team, and you go forward as a team with these phenomenal products and these founders that we have. And I really commend you. So thank you so much for being able to share all of that with us today.
yeah. By the way, thank you so much, Jackie, for this wonderful meetings. It's our pleasure, me and Kim, to be part of the iGalen family. And also, thank you also to my team, like Coaches Jonathan, Coach Kenneth, Coach Genaro, Coach Dr. Greco, and Coach Bong, Coach Arnie, and the rest of the teams. I know you are working very hard for iGalen to share these wonderful products to every Filipino. And it's a must. As a Filipino, it's a must to be out in the comfort zone of poverty. So iGalen is very great opportunity to every Filipino. If they sow what we sow, they know it. What is iGalen? That's why we are very thankful, me and Kim, because in iGalen, to tell you frankly, we are not born like in the Filipinos rich. We are born in a poor family, to tell you the truth, but in iGalen, our life has changed in a few months. Yeah, in just a few months, our life has changed. So that's why we are very thankful. Number one to Dr. Rajen. Dr. Rajen, thank you so much for the trust you show to us. And of course, Costa Gara, sir, thank you so much. I love you all. That's why iGalen is it's a must in every Filipino. Not only Filipino, in the entire world. Yeah.
Do you know, PJ, what I can say for you from listening to you, and it's spoken like a true leader. You acknowledge those that have helped you, and you acknowledge the people that have been the founders. But it is just, I could not say that I could be more delighted, and I know everybody else is here too, but it's come through hard work, and you've done that. But it is so remarkable and so pleasing to see that this company has changed lives, not only with their health, but it's changed the quality of life for you over there and so many of you. And that within itself, I really do believe that we have this gift in our hearts that we're able to give. And that's showing through, not only through the health system, but through what it's changing in your lives and your children's lives. So on behalf of Fawn, Debbie, Ken, Ron and myself and all of these people on here and the others that are going to listen to this through iGalen, I just want to thank yourself and Kim so much for agreeing to do this and sharing part of your lives with us and giving us a better understanding on what you're doing and what it takes, because I certainly know I've learned a lot from you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's awesome. I'm not going to say all the thank yous again. I was going to say all that same stuff. It was incredible, very inspiring. I just wanted to remind you, Jackie mentioned at the beginning, the format of these calls. We're going to try and do guests on the first and the second week. And the third week, we're hoping Dr. Ken and Dr. Ron will be there to inspire us. And Ron, is there anything that you would like to say about next week, about Emulin E and flavonoids, or what kinds of things that you might want from people as far as questions? Oh, are you there, Ken? I put you on the spot. Just wondered if there's anything you want to say about next week.
Well, Debbie, you can call me anything you want. Just make sure that I know what you're calling me. Well, I've got a bunch of notes in front of me, and I've got a bunch of interesting tidbits. And I thought maybe some of those tidbits would be interesting.
For next week, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, don't spill the beans.
No.
We just want you to give us a little taste of maybe what we're going to do.
I want to hit some points that'll maybe. I think what Ron and I have been getting after the whole time is an understanding of health and how we become healthy, and that's why both Ron and I are aligned with iGalen, because it makes people healthy. We're not treating disease, we're making people healthy. And it's a very difficult concept to get across. Most people are sort of disease-centered. Will this help for my arthritis? Will this help for my that? Will this help for my this? And I hope we don't drive people crazy, because we're going to keep harping on that. I have something that I'm working on. It won't be ready for then. It's a kind of a new way of looking at it. Health from the bottom up, and all the free things that you can do first. You do the free stuff first, then you fix the deficiencies, and then you accessorize your health, and at the very last is where drugs and surgery come in. And so that's a new concept that I'm working on. I don't think it'll be ready. And the other thing I want to talk about is resilience. I don't know, PJ, do you know that word well? Resilience?
Just unmute yourself, PJ.
What resilient?
Yes. So resilience is more than money. And if you look it up in the dictionary, and prospering, that's the other word, prosper. How do you prosper? You prosper through wealth, you prosper through friendship, you prosper through good spirituality, you prosper through a clean lifestyle and financial issues. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that next time, because I think prosperity is a very good word and we don't use that enough.
Well, that sounds great. If people have questions that they want to direct specifically to you, Fawn has put her email address in the chat. So anybody that has a specific question for next week, you're welcome to do that. And also on week 4, our plan is to have testimonies. Usually that'll be the last week of the month. However, next month, as Jackie mentioned, there are five weeks. So we'll fit something else in, but the testimonies will stay on the 4th Wednesday of the month. So again, anybody that that has a good story, it doesn't have to be, you know, earth-shattering results. It can just be that somebody's life has improved in some aspect, and people love to hear that. So please, if you have anybody that you could suggest, or have them contact us, or you contact us, and we can let them know. Just you know, not to be intimidated. It's not a grand jury. It's just asking a couple of questions, you know, what their life was like before in that particular area, what it's like now, maybe how long they've been on the product, what it's done for them. Those kinds of things are so inspiring for people who are maybe even on the fence, not sure if they want to try it. They'll hear something in a testimony that's like, oh, I have that. I wonder if that would help me. So we welcome those. And I think that's just about it, unless anyone else has anything to add. Okay, so hope we see everybody back next week. The link will be in the Facebook groups again, and it'll be the same link as this one. So if you found this one and saved it, then you can just keep using the same link. And this will be posted as a recording either tonight or tomorrow on the groups as well. So you'll be able to share that with anybody who wasn't able to be here. So until next week, I want to thank everybody again, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you, PJ.
Bye.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Kim. Hearts, yes.